What's going on, guys? Josh here from Momentum Productions, and today I have the Zhiyun Weebill LAB Gimbal. This is Zhiyun Tech's latest gimbal on the market, and I needed to come out with some sort of video demoing the footage out of this gimbal. Now, this is not my full comprehensive review on this gimbal since I haven't had enough time to play around with it, but today I want to show you the basics, and that is the performance, the stability of this gimbal. So let's go ahead and check out some of the test footage. Now, before we talk about the demo footage, let me tell you my first experiences with this gimbal. Overall, I do love the sleek, compact design. This is probably the smallest gimbal, but with the most power of its size ever done in this type of tech. So I do like where this gimbal is headed. It is not perfected yet, especially when it comes down to the application. I mean, we have a ton of features. Regarding build quality, this thing is made out of both plastic and metal. The upper portion of the gimbal is made out of magnesium alloy, while the lower portion is made out of plastic. Also notice the tripod area. This gimbal is not as long as a traditional gimbal. That is because the battery compartment has been switched up here. And the reason for that is we can actually now take off our tripod and mount it up here. And this way we can actually get down to low angle shots. No more do you have to go into inverted mode. Now, we are using 18650 batteries on this gimbal, so you're getting about 10 hours of runtime if your camera is properly balanced. This is the same type of batteries you will find on, let's say, the Crane 2. Another big question I've been getting is what camera setup is compatible with this gimbal? Well, the heaviest camera setup that I tested out with this gimbal was a Sony A9 with a 16-35 f4 and a small rig camera cage. Anything above that is too heavy for this gimbal. Not because the motors can't handle that, but it's because the frame of the gimbal is so small. So this is mainly meant for those mirrorless, light primes and light zoom lenses. No G Masters here. Now, if you notice, I also have a camera connection cable going from my Sony a7S directly into the gimbal. We will be able to control things like ISO, shutter speed, all that good stuff. And as I mentioned before, we're gonna have HD transmission. Again, this is still underdeveloped and they are currently working on it. The control panel is exactly the same as on the Crane 2. We have the POV button that, when pressed, allows you to go directly into POV shooting modes. And when double tapped, we will enter vortex mode, which allows you to do those 360-degree barrel rolls. And we also have a trigger in the front, which allows us to recenter the camera. So when we double tap that, it goes right into the center. And we can also go into selfie mode by tapping it 3 times. On the side of the gimbal, we have more buttons, such as go mode. When pressed, we actually have more power going to the motors, which makes the gimbal react more precisely and more quickly. And then we have modes that you are already familiar with, which is pan follow and lock mode. We also have a dial on the side here, which allows you to attach a servo for focus or for zooming. And don't worry, I'm gonna cover that in another tutorial/review video. On the side, we also have a phone mount or an accessory mount. So when I demo the HD transmission for you, you can actually monitor all of your footage directly from your phone. This is not compatible with any monitor. It has to be within the ZY Play app. Overall balancing of this gimbal is pretty good. I did notice that we don't have issues with the roll axis being very difficult to balance anymore. You should be able to move your camera in any orientation, and it should stay in that orientation without flopping back to center. Regarding the demo footage, I think it came out pretty damn good. I was lucky enough to attend the B-Alpha event in Los Angeles. Thank you, Jason Vong, for the invite, by the way. And I was shooting with the Weebill LAB Gimbal and the Sony A9 with a 24-70 f4 lens and a small rig camera cage. And I think this is the absolute maximum weight that you should put on the Weebill LAB Gimbal. Anything heavier is just not gonna fit or balance properly. But the good news is that even at 70mm focal length, I was able to get smooth, buttery gimbal shots. Just note that you cannot balance heavy setups with this gimbal. And this gimbal is perfect for you traveling filmmakers. I mean, this is my hand and this is the gimbal. It's basically my hand and a half in size. So it's a tiny gimbal and it can fit into basically any camera bag. Now the question is this gimbal for you? Well, it's up to your setup. Do you shoot with light primes and light zooms and mirrorless cameras? If the answer is yes, then yes, get the Weebill LAB. But if you do require heavier cameras, heavier lenses, and you want to have more freedom, so to speak, then I do think that the Crane 3 LAB is the gimbal for you. So if you're interested in the Weebill LAB, go ahead and check out the links for it in the description box below. And, well, in my opinion, am I gonna rely on this gimbal for most of my shoots? The answer is no. I base my creativity off of versatility, so I need to have a gimbal that can handle any type of payload. And with that being said, I'm gonna be testing out the Crane 3 LAB. And this has a 10-pound payload capacity and a much larger frame. So make sure you like this video and subscribe with notifications on, and you'll be notified when that video comes out. I can't wait to see what you create, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!